ride, get you in and out. Tell them the Global Dispatch sent you.
You're listening to Dispatch Radio, sponsored by theGlobalDispatch.com.
They've made me feel like a prisoner. They've made me feel set free. They've made me feel like a criminal. Make me feel like a king.
Welcome back to Dispatch Radio, brought to you by theGlobalDispatch.com and our sponsor, Stout Auto. So feel free to check out theGlobalDispatch.com. We'll be talking on a couple stories, but at the bottom of the hour, we have Daniel McAdams. He's going to be joining us from... He's the executive director, if I got that correct, of the Ron Paul Institute. We're going to run down some of the foreign policy issues in the current state in places like Iran, Egypt, Syria, and, of course, Libya and the Benghazi scandal. So, get a little heads up on what's going on over there. But before we do that, let me run down a couple of stories here, because I found it was a very interesting one and a very sad state of affairs. I don't know how you that are Republican and that you vote R no matter what, and how you cannot just be jumping on any campaign it takes to remove John McCain from office when he says in 2016, if it were Hillary Clinton and Rand Paul, it's, quote, it's going to be a tough choice. Now, this was the presidential candidate, and now he's having to decide if Hillary Clinton would be who he's going to back. I heard Glenn Beck, a talking head. He made the statement that he was predicting that McCain will go Democrat. It's to that point with John McCain. So, Bob, what do you think? McCain going Democrat?
I don't know about that, but there should be no surprise. McCain's been a strong advocate for Hillary Clinton since she's been Secretary of State, and their foreign policy views are more aligned than that of McCain and Rand Paul.
I tell you what, right now, there is two Republican parties, and McCain is in one group that obviously is very pro-Hillary Clinton and John Kerry, and then there's other Republicans that are trying to defund Obamacare at all costs. They're trying to cut spending, fix the budget, things like that. I don't agree with anyone 100%, but you can start to question what somebody stands for when they're willing to flip-flop around to that magnitude. Okay, there, I'll get off my political bandwagon for now, and let's get to some important things that Bob had here. Some great health updates. I mean, I can't even keep up with the Cyclospora stuff you're posting, bro.
Yeah, there's just so much going on. Investigations are really starting to show some results. First of all, the Cyclospora has arrived in Florida. There's about 25 cases. And for those of you in our listening area, at least 3 have been found in Hillsborough County. But the big news that came up last night, was the announcement by the Food and Drug Administration. They have linked the Cyclospora outbreak to lettuce from a Mexican farm called Taylor Farms de Mexico. And they're saying that this lettuce salad mix was used in restaurants like Olive Garden and Red Lobster in Iowa and Nebraska. So that's pretty big news. And, of course, a couple of weeks ago, we had the director of the Iowa Department of Health on here talking about this issue. And a little follow-up on last week's interview with Dr. Patricia Cope with the CDC. Kaylee Hardig, she's the girl that got inflicted with the brain-eating amoeba, Naegleria fowleri. She's still alive. She's in critical condition, but she is still alive, which is very, very, very unusual. And apparently, one of those experimental drugs that Dr. Cope was talking about with us, that's something they used on young 12-year-old Kaylee. That and the other process they used was they reduced her temperature to 93 degrees. And doctors say they use that technique to preserve the undamaged brain tissue. She's not out of the woods yet. I mean, they say that the actual amoeba is dead. It's gone. However, just as serious, there's still a lot of brain swelling. So just keep an eye out for that. And what you got, Brandon?
Do we have her name?
Kaylee, Kali, Hardig. Hardig.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to pray for Kaylee Hardig
Yeah.
and that she can pull through this. But wow, what an amazing a situation that she's got this far. And then like, I think we said it after the Cyclospora interview was like, man, this stuff can hit home.
Oh, sure.
And the amoeba and now this. I mean, everything is just, it's not by coincidence. You're doing a great job keeping up with all this stuff.
Yeah, Florida is a hot spot for this kind of stuff. So, if Kaylee does totally survive this thing, she will be the first one since the 1970s. She'll be the second one ever in the United States. So, out of 129 cases or something like that. So it's pretty amazing.
Well, I'm not going to be like the mainstream media, as the term has been coined. We are going to discuss NSA for a moment. We're going to discuss what has been brought forward, and we are not going to blame Edward Snowden, because Edward Snowden didn't do anything or present us with any new information that we didn't already know. However, what we did learn and what we did get was more confirmation and more details, and I'm going to do my best to try to explain this in layman's terms so we can understand what some of these things are. So this week, the NSA program is called Cyclospora, and it came forward to reveal how they track and can track all of the information on your personal computer. So the analogy that I made to someone as I spoke to is, how would you feel when you went into work and you found out they're listening to all of your phone calls and they're monitoring all your emails at your job? And of course, like most people, they did not respond well to that concept at all. They actually kind of objected to it, which I kind of said, well, you do work for this person and it's all of their property and all of their infrastructure. So for you to be outraged, let's go a step further. Why is it that you're okay that the government does all of that? What have you done wrong that would warrant them monitoring you? So what came out had a lot to do with the different classifications by Cyclospora and how it categorizes everyone into their little buckets to be tracked. Then it goes a little step further, and we had a couple experts that have been on some radio shows and talk shows, and I want to quote one of them is Diane Rourke. Diane Rourke is an NSA whistleblower. She retired in 2002. She has gone forward. She's been in a couple different newspapers. If I'm going to link to the story we have on theglobaldispatch.com, but if you search her name, you'll find some different stuff that she's already spoken on. The term she did and explained for us, and I want to quote, is the metadata, because there's really no disputing. Even Michelle Bachmann didn't dispute that they're tracking what's called metadata. But as Bob and I discussed, well, what does that even mean? Well, metadata is what they call externals. That is the date, the time, the description of an email. It's what cell tower did you ping off of when you made that phone call? What do the billing records show? All of that stuff is public data that's being given over to the NSA by all of our companies. So whether we're on Facebook, Google, Verizon, Sprint, your Bright House, it doesn't matter what it is. All of this is being filed and stored by the NSA. So as we move to the next layer, well, what does that really mean? Then Bob and I had a great crash course and a learning lesson on what are called hops. And if you don't know what a hop is, if you're a terrorist, you're the person they're supposed to be tracking. Okay. Everyone that's in that terrorist circle, that's one hop. So all of his little friends on Facebook, all the people that he's shooting emails to, all of that stuff, he's one hop. All of those people who they have in their circles, that is the second hop, and then so on and so forth. And the current program, when it was originally established, it was pretty radical and pretty extreme that they would even go out to the second hop. That was pretty much the farthest anybody went. But now we know, and we have confirmation now through the stuff that's being presented, they're out 3 hops. So that means you can be that removed from the, quote, terrorist and be tracked, be put a file on. They're pulling every single phone call. They're listening to every single detail. So you are now caught up on the NSA and every aspect thereof of what the NSA surveillance actually is at this moment in time. So, Bob, anything you want to add on NSA before we go to a quick break?
No, I think you pretty well covered it. Time is a factor right now.
I know. All right. Yeah, we are on the clock. We do need to take a very quick break, and we're going to have on Daniel McAdams. He's going to catch us up on all the foreign policy, the state of affairs in several of the countries, and we'll go from there.
Words can build us up, words can break us down, start a fire in our hearts, or put
is Brandon from Dispatch Radio, and I want to tell you about my friends over at Stout Auto. Now, I don't know about you, but I can't stand car repair shops. I hate hearing about all the things that are wrong with my car. Even if they're true, I just want my oil changed. Now, the only thing worse than car repair is having to take it back again when it breaks down for what I just had done the first time. Now, recently, I had some work done on my mother-in-law's car. Spent a pretty penny, only to have the same thing start all over again. Now, this person may have meant well, and I don't really have any ill will, but I learned a valuable lesson, that I can trust Jody and his team over at Stout Auto. Not only did they fix everything, they explained what else needed to be done, they did it in a professional manner with estimates that I could understand, and I left feeling that my daughter, if she took her car in there for an oil change, wouldn't come home with a $600 bill. One trip, one good repair, I didn't have to go back. Now, they've been in business in Clearwater for over 4 years. 18300 US 19 North. It's in Clearwater at 727-216-6622. Now they have a new location that's off Belcher at 1801 Belcher Road, just 1 block north of Ulmerton. Give them a call. That's 727-400-6955. 2 locations, going to do you right, get you in and out. Tell them the Global Dispatch sent you.
You're listening to Dispatch Radio, sponsored by theglobaldispatch.com.